Good morning, everyone. It's 8:20, and I'm getting this out a little bit early because the only thing that we had so far was mortgage applications, which were down 8.8%. We do, however, have crude inventories in a couple of hours, 10:30, I believe, and we also at 2 o'clock have the Philly Fed beige book, which tends to be somewhat market moving. Okay, so under the heading of all of our Congress and senators are basically jackasses, I was sitting and watching the conversation between Kennedy from the South and Van Hollen talk about how executives from other countries should have the same reporting liabilities that ours do on insider trading. Are these guys kidding? I mean, they're talking about corporate, but they're not addressing their own house. I mean, this is a huge issue that some of these liars and thieves get to play on a non-level playing field, and yet they're busy pointing the fingers. Classic U.S. politician misdirection. Okay. Also, in the headline of misdirection, the CEO from UAL was on this morning talking about how great things are. But if you listen to him, he's talking about how great things are, and he's making some assumptions. And one of those assumptions is that fuel prices are going to be much lower. Okay, maybe they are. And today, I'll get to it, but the entire energy sector is sharply lower. But, I guess the public is somewhat seeing through that because UAL, which was much stronger yesterday after their earnings miss, is down about 21 cents after being up a couple of bucks. So we have that. Okay, Disney, Meta, and Amazon all talking about layoffs. Disney says they're going to lay off from a bunch of different divisions, entertainment being the biggest, and that will come shortly. Meta is doing it today and expects to do it again in May. And Amazon is discussing it, but they're not giving any details. ASML beat on earnings. Stock closed 643 yesterday. It was as low as 623 this morning. So while it was a beat, it wasn't great. The guidance wasn't great. And the stock is trading 626.70, down 1663 or 2.6%. I have gone through, scoured all of their headlines and news stories this morning and cannot find anything on their capex spending, which 2 days ago was the cause for ASML, Lam Research, and a couple of other equipment makers to fall because they were expecting ASML to sharply cut capex spending. I don't see it anywhere. Tesla, more price cuts, but they're in the $1,000 to $3,000 a car, Model Y primarily, Y and 3. But what's more important is that they report after the close today. So the stock right here at 180.30, down $4. Uh, this is also an aside, a footnote, if you will. Abbott Labs beats. The stock closed 104.15, currently got up to 107, currently 106.65, up 250, 2.4%. Ally Financial, a miss. Stock closed 26.85, got down as low as 25.70 this morning. Last is 25.84, down 101 or 3.7. Morgan Stanley beats top and bottom line, but when you get into the metrics of it, there's some weakness in places that are important to the bank and brokerage firm. Uh, and it closed 89.85 on the headline, got up to 91.86. Last is 87.21, down 264 or 3%. This should be a reminder after what happened today with this one. Monday with Goldman Sachs. Um, you really can't trade the headline. And, I hope all those algo guys are getting screwed royally. But, you know, the answer is that those markets, besides getting a jump basis, the headlines are also very thin. And so the volatility is much higher. Travelers with a beat closed 172, got as high as 181 on the numbers. Last 177.73, and that's up 573 or 3.1%. Okay, LEGN. This is kind of an interesting one. They are partners with Johnson and Johnson, and this is Legend Biotech. And yesterday, the stock was weak, and 52.24 down 251. They have a something called CAR-T cell, which is a treatment between Legend and J&J partnership for multiple myeloma. And somehow the results got leaked. And the stock traded up to 64.53. And the current on it, it's given up a little bit, 58.86, which is still up $6.62. And to give you a point of reference, they have a relapse number down 74%, which is pretty decent. It's difficult to relate to, except that Bristol Myers also has a partnership with a small biotech, and theirs is only 51%. So, um, by comparison, it looks great. Okay, aside from the liars in the Congress and Senate, the news out is Fed this, Fed this, Fed that. Amazing. Every one of the issues on the crawl on CNBC before they switched off news headlines was Fed rate hike, and basically the bigger news was the fact that in the UK core CPI did not decline, even though the top line number did, but only in a really minor way. It seems to me, since I can't find any other news, that has crushed futures across the board. Grains down, oil down, nat gas down a little, the entire energy sector lower. Gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, even aluminum, all down. Uh, the softs, cotton is down a little, coffee is down a little, sugar is up another 27 cents. And by the way, the coffee went through the high and over $2 before settling back here. It's 199.50, down 3.5. Stock futures at 7:30 when I came down, they were down 97 in the Dow. At 8 o'clock, they were down 128, currently down about 104. NASDAQ down 81 to down 100 to currently down looks like right around 95, and the S&P down 19 to down 24. It's hanging right around that area, down about 22. Bitcoin giving up 1,060. This has been an incredibly erratic week um, in crypto. Just want to give you an idea of what this looks like on, let's make it a little bigger so you can see it. On Monday, we were down 920. Yesterday, we were up 775. Today, we're down 1,035. This is a pretty good area of support, but it could easily get down to middle of that range, around 28.4. So we have that. The bonds are lower, and the dollar, I believe, is a little bit high. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, the dollar is up 30 cents at 101.74, and the bonds are down 24.30 seconds, which is 3/4 of a point. All right, everyone, be careful out there, and don't forget about those earnings reports after the close tonight.